Right now, tonight here at 5, the fight over the high bond begins. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. There's another new development tonight in the argument over the bond for Brooks Houck. The attorney for the main suspect in the killing of Crystal Rogers is now heading to a higher court in Kentucky, appealing the decision to keep it at $10 million. WHAS11 Shane McAllister has more on the filing to the Kentucky Court of Appeals.
In court, Judge Charles Sims III heard both sides for and against a bond reduction.
The grand jury out of Nelson County that set this bond, I have been practicing 28 years. I have never heard of a bond even coming close to this.
And I can tell you I've never asked for a $10 million bond. This is the first multi-millionaire I've prosecuted for murder.
In his 20-year career, Sims admits this is the highest bond he has ever given. He laid out 4 reasons why he believes Brooks Houck must be held on $10 million. First, the court believes Houck has access to money to pay the bond. In the judge's order, he said Houck owns 3 construction companies and 83 rental properties. The tax assessment totaled $8.5 million. Next, the court believes Houck could be a flight risk because he's facing life in prison. Sims says most defendants can be a flight risk when facing tough penalties. The third reason speaks to the violence of the alleged crime. Judge Sims is worried for the safety of witnesses. These concerns stemming from the bombshell released at the arraignment. New details in the investigation of Brooks' brother, Nick Houck.
We're waiting for testing to come back on the firearm we believe was used to murder Tommy Ballard, a firearm that we purchased from Nicholas Houck.
Prosecutors are having the gun tested right now, the gun they believe was used to kill Tommy Ballard. And lastly, the court wants a fair trial. The judge says he believes the Houck family could be jeopardizing that after what Judge Sims called deliberately engaging in misconduct. The first allegation is from early on, when Houck family members secretly and illegally recorded grand jury proceedings. As for Houck's appeal, the Court of Appeals could release a decision in the next few months. Shane McAllister, WHAS11, on your side.
And right now, as we speak, Brooks Houck is still in the Hardin County Jail, and his next court appearance in this case is set for February. The Louisville Metro Police traffic guard who was badly hurt after being hit by a semi-truck driver in a hit-and-run last month is now suing the driver and the company where he works, all for damages. Gertrude Schaffline, a 48-year-old veteran of LMPD, had one leg partially amputated as a result of the hit-and-run. The driver of the semi, Delane Rowe, was arrested later that same day and charged with leaving the scene, assault, and disregarding traffic control. The lawsuit claims Rowe operated his truck in a negligent, careless, and reckless way. And it says the company he works for, Ohio Transport Corporation, failed in its duty to entrust its vehicles to responsible, competent, qualified drivers. The lawsuit says as a result of her injuries, Schaffline is in great physical and mental pain, has large medical bills. She is now forced to pay and has lost wages and her ability to earn wages in the future. We contacted the Ohio Transport Company this afternoon for comment. We have not heard back as of news time. Today marks 6 months since a gunman walked into the Old National Bank in downtown Louisville. The young bank employee killed 5 co-workers, injured many others, and shot a Metro police officer in the head, forever changing the lives of so many people in our community. On April 10th, Joshua Barrick, Jim Tutt, Tommy Elliott, Juliana Farmer, and Dina Eckert all lost their lives in the shooting. 2 LMPD officers who were first on the scene were also hurt in the attack. Officers Corey Galloway and Nicholas Wilt. Officer Wilt was on just his 4th day with the police department when he was shot in the head and critically injured as he was rushing to the scene, showing incredible bravery. But he has since made a miraculous recovery and was released from the hospital in July. Well, now, 6 months later, the big question remains, when will the public, all of us, be given the details about what led up to that day, April 10th? Metro Police tell us the investigation remains open and active, looking into the shooter's motive and the events that played out prior to the shooting. Isaiah Kim Martinez is following up today. Even the families, Isaiah, have been patiently waiting for answers.
Answers, Doug, and one thing we know we won't be getting a copy of, at least while this case remains open, are those autopsy results now in the hands of LMPD's Public Integrity Unit. But what about that manifesto inside the shooter's home and the investigation into his phone? Today, police making it very clear the public won't be getting that information either, at least not yet. In a statement, LMPD tells me, quote, the investigation into the shooting from 4/10/23 is still active and ongoing. No other information is available at this time, end quote. Remember, the city has already committed to being transparent with the investigation's findings once they're finalized. Now, tonight I talked about this wait for answers with a man whose loud calls for change got a lot of attention back in April.
We need to know more about these incidents. We need to have more information that what else could have been done. How could we have prevented this rampage of death?
You may recognize Dr. Muhammad Babar, a Louisville physician who's been one of the most outspoken advocates for legislative change since that tragedy. But he admits knowing exactly what needs to change can be difficult without knowing all the details in this case. Doug.
Of course, Dr. Babar, so remarkable, got the standing ovation during the memorial for what he said about everybody. Well, let's go back to the shooter, Connor Sturgeon. As his family has said in the only interview they've given, they did an emergency intervention with a psychiatrist 5 days before the shooting with Connor because of his mental health crisis. Is this the kind of information we would expect to see to come out of the investigation? I know that you've been talking to some other legal experts.
Doug, those search warrants obviously detailed how just long the manifesto was. A lot of details in there. We believe that Sturgeon was getting mental health treatment. So these are examples of not just what happened in that moment, but what led up to it. Were there prevention methods or measures that could have been taken? I asked a prosecutor about these investigations in general, why they take so long, those kind of answers. We'll have that coming up here at 6 o'clock.
And you bring up the manifesto, which has been reported. You're correct that he apparently wrote a manifesto. We don't know the details of that yet. It has never been revealed, so that's another thing to come.
It hasn't, and whether it will be at any point is still up in the air.
All right, Isaiah, thank you very much. Well, as far as part of this, the Elliott family has created a fund in Tommy Elliott's name and qualities. The Tommy Elliott Fund for Community Leadership recognizes individuals as they pursue civic work, and it aims to inspire individuals to build community by bringing people of diverse demographics and points of view together to achieve greater societal benefit. The annual grant awards up to $20,000. At around 7:20 this morning, Louisville Metro police officers responded to a shooting outside the Marathon gas station on Breckenridge Lane and Landside Drive, that's just east of the Klondike neighborhood. LMPD says when officers got there, they did not find any victims, but it was clear that somebody had been shot outside the gas station. They say they later believed that the man was shot outside the gas station, arrived at U of L Medical Center East with a gunshot wound. He was treated and then transported to University Hospital. LMPD's non-fatal shooting squad is investigating this shooting, and they say all parties have been accounted for. Well, take a look at your screen. Police are asking you to help identify this woman. The police department says they have some questions for her about her involvement in an incident where 2 people were shot in the Russell neighborhood after a fight broke out on a Jefferson County school bus in the afternoon. Both of the people shot during the altercation were taken to U of L Hospital and survived. Anyone with any information on this woman or that incident is urged to call Metro Police right away. The anonymous tip line is 574 LMPD. Our incredible stretch of great fall weather continues across Kentuckiana. This is the blueprint fall weather. Chief Meteorologist Ben Pine is joining me. You know, when you have to write it out, what's Kentuckiana like at fall? This is what we need. It's been weeks and weeks of this remarkable weather, Ben.
Yeah, I love it. We're getting used to it, but things will change a little bit later on this week. It's going to be looking and feeling more like November this weekend. First off, though, it was a chilly start this morning. Our low temperatures, which occur right around sunrise, down to near freezing in some locations. There could be just a little touch of frost in some of the typical cold spots, valley locations. Notice down to near freezing in Brandenburg, 35 in Campbellsville and Litchfield. But we did warm up to the upper 60s today with all that sunshine. Live view here with our Hughes and Coleman cam, part of our U of L Health Camera Network. Humidity nice and low at 30% and just a light breeze at around 5 to 10. 70 downtown, but most spots are in the mid to upper 60s throughout Kentuckiana. So again, just another pleasant evening out there. All clear, closest rain well up to the north over the Great Lakes. So futurecasts will remain quiet for tonight. Around sunset, which is just after 7 p.m., will fall down into the 50s. Overnight low temperatures once again down to the 30s and 40s. Tomorrow, some extra clouds, lower to mid 70s with a slight chance of a shower, mainly off to the north. If you have some plans to head out to the Jack-o'-lantern Spectacular, Iroquois Park, again 60s over the next couple of hours and then 50s after sunset. May want that jacket out there. Clear and chilly tonight, low temps in the 40s, 30s outside the city, mid 60s at lunchtime tomorrow. A little cloudier tomorrow afternoon with our high of 74 degrees. Again, we'll be tracking those big changes on the way as we head into the weekend, coming up in our complete storm team forecast in just a few minutes.